Hey babes, in this module I am going to show you guys how to make the perfect spikes. Whether it's thin spikes, thick spikes, regular spikes, wet spikes, you're going to learn how to make all different types of spikes. So as you can see here, I just grabbed a little bit of hair and I grabbed it from the top. So grabbing it from the top is what's going to ensure that you have a spike. If you try to grab it from the bottom or the middle, it's not going to keep that spike shape. So you have to grab it from the top, dip, and place. Look how beautiful these spikes are. So spiky, so straight, so perfect. I love it. So again, we are grabbing from the top. We are grabbing a little bit of hair to make these thin spikes. We are dipping and we are placing. The technique is to just grab it from the top. So there you go. There's my spikes. And now I am going to make a little bit of a thicker spike. You can grab as many hairs as you want, thick or thin. It really doesn't matter. It's just preference and what kind of set you want to create. So you're about to see here, look how dark it is compared to the rest of the spikes. So again, we are going to make a thicker spike. I would say this is like a regular spike. The other ones that I made were kind of thin. But again, it really just depends what kind of look you're going for. I personally like these size spikes because you can really see them. Look how dark and beautiful. Yeah, super cute. So again, we are grabbing. So I honestly recommend grabbing from the top, but when you are making a thicker spike like this, it kind of looks like a narrow fan. You want to grab from the middle. That one did come out it did come out thicker, but you're about to see here, I'm about to do it again. So I did grab from the middle. And then I'm literally just dipping. I'm not opening my tweezer or anything. I'm literally just, holding it still and I'm just dipping. And then I'm gonna place. And that kind of created like a narrow fan. So sometimes you can use narrow fans as spikes. If you are wanting to create a look like that with thick spikes. And in the lash maps, I do have a map that uses thicker spikes, so you guys can see that. Look how beautiful those spikes are. So again, I am just going to grab it from the top and we are going to dip it and place it. And it looks so beautiful. So there's a bunch of different types of ways you can spike. And now here we are going to get the lashes wet. I am using a bonder to wet the lashes. You really want to make sure that you are using a good bonder because at the end of the day, you always want to use good high quality bonders. So I am going to get every single angle of the lashes wet. As you can see, it is already giving me spikes. I don't even have to create them anymore. They're just made for me. So that's great. This is my first wet spike. Look how perfect it is. And my second one, perfect. You're always gonna have a perfect spike when you make them wet. It really is all about preference and how you want your sets to look. So again, it's just the same concept. I'm going to grab it from the top and I am going to dip it in the glue and I am going to place. You don't really have to worry too much about the base since the base is going to come out pretty thin already. If you are making thicker spikes and you do have a thicker base, that is okay because that is the look that we are going for. The goal when you're making spikes, yeah, you can make the bases thin, but if you have some spikes that are thicker, the bases are going to be thicker and it is okay. As long as you are isolating correctly, there is nothing wrong with having a thicker base on a spike. Now, I wouldn't recommend it for fans, but spikes is okay because you're only placing a few. And that's only for the thick ones. So, there you go. I'm doing it again. And you guys, I love making spikes. Like, it's just so satisfying. So again, grabbing it from the top, and you guys can see that the base was kind of spread out a little bit, and the glue was gonna close it together and make it perfect. This is how I make my perfect spikes.